This is a Soul Dlite exclusive.
He is mean on the keyboard. I tell you, if you haven't seen him on the keyboard, you got to get along to one of his shows. I'm talking about Darryl Beaton. Welcome to the show, Darryl.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
It helps if I turn your mic on.
Okay, we should try that again. I was saying, pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me along.
I'm so glad to have you in the studio. As you can tell, I'm a little bit flustered right now. Not usually like this, but I am doing about 5 different things at once here.
I'm impressed by your multitasking.
My multitasking. I think it comes with doing a show for too long. Otherwise, I think I would probably not be doing as well. But if you guys are just tuning into our show for the first time, we want to say welcome, of course. We are loving that you were tuning into our show, and especially this is the best time to tune in because our special guest, Darryl Beaton, he is probably one of, in terms of Australian music, I'd say he's one musician that, oh man, I don't even know to find the right words for you because honestly, I've seen you perform that many times. I've seen you work with that many local musicians over the years, and I know you've worked with some up and coming artists and some artists who have come through and now doing big things. And you're very humble, like you stay so humbled, and then you put your own music out there and just let it be there. But we need to just totally promote your music all over the place because it's so fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
And I know that you have just recently put together, or you are putting together, or have you finished it, the new album?
I'm about 5 or 6 songs in now, and I still want to do an album per se. I like the idea of sitting down and listening to a whole bunch of songs at one time. I know that's not really the model necessarily now, because singles are obviously the way to go. But there's something really I've still got a romantic feeling about sitting and listening to something front to back and having a whole experience and a whole bunch of stories that really tie in with one another. That's kind of cool. So I'm about 6 songs in, and I'm liking. I think I've got a new track that I've shared with you, so yes. You're going to play that.
So excited to play that on tonight's show.
Oh, cool.
I had the minute you sent it to me, I had to listen to it straight away because I know every time I listen to your tracks, I'm like, yes, cool. Hit it in the ballpark again.
I'm glad you like it. I'm glad.
No, I do absolutely love your track. So we're going to be blasting that all over our social media pages, so everybody knows about it. And you're also doing a gig coming up next week as well. Are you going to be featuring some of this new music in your gig?
Yeah, we're going to play 3 or 4 of the new songs. So that's at 5:05 next Thursday night, 16. And yeah, I'm in rehearsals with the band, who you know well. I was going to say intimately, but you know.
That's probably not a good thing to put out.
All the Martinez brothers. So we're looking forward to that gig. We're all very busy at the moment, so to come together every few months and play together is, it's kind of rare, but really looking forward to it.
That's what I find so fascinating is like you guys are totally workaholics. Like every time I see you guys are always doing something, and so I'm always honoured to have you guys actually visit us in the studio, yourself and also the Martinez brothers, because I know they also have their project of Gang of Brothers as well. So it's always for me very exciting that you come and visit us, humble to us here at Dlite, and have a chat
well,
to
I've got to
fans.
say, it's actually, for us, it's a privilege to come here because you're such a supporter of domestic talent, and that's really, really important. It's something that, as a society, we need to embrace more of our artistic side, especially in Australia, because we're very, very much a sporting nation, and if we embraced our musical culture as much as we did sports, I mean, I love sport, don't get me wrong, but if we did, there's so many gifted people here that we really could compete in an international arena without a problem, and actually take some pretty magical stuff to.
I totally agree with you.
Countries.
And I mean, I recently just came back from overseas to see a lot of musical talent that's out there. And for me, it just confirms how talented our local artists are, because I've seen some great artists over there, but our local talent is so up there. Like, I'm not kidding. That my wish is for Australian soul funk artists to be global. That's my thing. So, and I'm sure that is for you guys too.
Well, I actually have a theory on that. I reckon part of because we're isolated and we're this little island that's kind of had the opportunity to grow in isolation, that we have a sort of a brand or a flavour of not only soul music, but lots of music, but especially soul music. It's really eclectic. It's got, lots of European influence, African influence, and everything. And so it's grown. It's become its own thing.
It has.
So I think there's I'm excited about some of the music I hear coming out of here now. It's really got its own flavour.
And you know what else I think too is particularly, I mean, it has over the last 4 years, but particularly in the last 1 to 2 years, the scene has just become more, not just underground, but more to the forefront, and people are starting to take notice of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, gigs like Soulfest and all those kinds of things that we were lucky enough to be part of, they just really bring awareness to the general public about what's out there, and marrying it with people that they do know and that has legitimacy and sort of weight. It's all there. It just needs to be presented more, and so the more and more gigs we have like that, more festivals we have like that, the better. And they're coming, as you say. Which
is pretty awesome. And I mean, we just heard the recent announcement that there is going to be a Soulfest 2015, so that's going to be pretty cool. And I'm hoping that they really embrace more of the Australian artists within that festival as well too. How was that for you performing at that last year?
It was mad. It was crazy. We got to play to, like D'Angelo's crowd. That's nuts.
Pretty cool, huh?
It's an honour, absolutely. And we were lucky enough to have some of the international musicians come over, and they were side stage and they're egging us on, and they were into it. So that was really really positive experience for us as a band. And they're like, oh, hey, because for people who don't know who we are, don't know how hard we work, just to be accidentally side of stage and to be like, I like this
on that platform.
That's a pat on the back, and it's like, oh, maybe we're getting it right. So that was good.
That's one thing I wanted to ask you, because you had these particular artists who are known throughout the globe, and that's what they're really known for. Did any of them approach you to kind of want to work with you guys?
We didn't really have the opportunity to ever to have those conversations. Plenty of the musicians were like, you guys are, there's a real kinship. That's the beautiful thing about music, is, and especially about soul music, especially. And it's a similar sort of thing with reggae going on. All musicians who play that genre of music, there's an automatic kinship. So it was almost like when I start talking to the drummer from Little James's band, it's like we've known each other for 20 years, because we kind of speak the same language, and there's a mutual respect, and there's people who play soul music are usually pretty good people too. So
that's one thing I've noticed about the soul community, in particular in terms of like the music itself. They really rally around each other. I don't know if that's the same for other music genres, but it definitely is for soul music.
Yeah, look, my experience in other, like, I live in the pop culture as well. It's not necessarily as family-like,
right?
And some of the underpinning of soul music and the soul lyrics is always usually either, sometimes political, sometimes positive, that there's an underpinning of spirituality in there that doesn't necessarily exist in other genres of music.
Right.
So that's why when I can talk to these people at these festivals, and it's like, we get each other straight away, and it's good. So we didn't necessarily have I would have loved to have got in a couple of those people's faces and like, man, I got some songs for you, man.
Yeah.
But the opportunity wasn't there. But still, it was a really positive experience. I'm so happy that people embraced it. It was well patronised, and it's good.
Well, I mean, you never know what comes out of these things, and I've just seen some amazing things from people, that may not happen overnight, but they do come to fruition later on. So you never know, we might be seeing you guys with some of these artists doing some big things down in the future.
You're tuned in to Soul Dlite.